Hey guys, Mizuki here. The corporate drama, the finest seasoning in the gaming industry. So let's talk about something that absolutely nobody saw coming. Wizards of the Coast and Larian Studios breaking up like a messy high school romance after the massive success of Baldur's Gate 3. Because, of course, when something is worked brilliantly, the first instinct is to, set it on fire and walk away dramatically. And Larian? Oh, they didn't just walk away. They built it like a rogue with max out dexterity. So you know what to do. Like, thump bells, and Tsuzuki-masho. See, the writing was on the wall. Larian Studios was already dipping its toes into early production for Baldur's Gate 4. Probably brainstorming how to one-up themselves and make an even better game. Which, considering how they crushed it with Baldur's Gate 3, was probably going to be insane. But then poof! Cancelled, just like that. And if you're thinking, wait, why would they do that when Baldur's Gate 3 was a massive hit? Congratulations, you've just experienced your first encounter with the soul-sucking nature of corporate greed. Now, did Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro come out and say, oh yeah, we totally ruined a good thing because we wanted more control and money? No, of course not, you're silly. That would require honesty, and corporations have the similar relationship with honest that a board has with monogamy. But we don't need a silent confession when we have context clues. And the biggest, juiciest, most new-flashing clue? Larian Studio CEO Sven Winkle getting up on the stage at the Game Developers' Choice Awards and absolutely torching the industry in front of everyone like he was dropping a diss track. And I quote, "Greed has been fucking this whole thing up for so long. Since I started, I've been fighting publishers my entire life, and I keep on seeing the same mistakes over and over and over. First of all, let's give this man a standing ovation. Second, he may not have pointed fingers directly, but let's be real, if this shows feet, and it's a Wizards of the Coast branded boot, then, yeah, it's not hard to read between the lines. If I had to guess, Sven probably took one look at the corporate suites trying to micromanage his next masterpiece and said, yeah, nah, I'd rather eat my own character shit. And honestly, can you blame him? The man was the backbone of Baldur's Gate 3. Larian Studios took an IP that Wizards of the Coast had been treating like a note sock they found under the couch, turned it into a masterpiece, and suddenly Wizard was like, wait a second, people love this? This is making money. We should probably, interfere immediately and make sure it's less good. Because that's how big corporations work, my dear viewers. It's the classic cycle. Talented devs create something truly amazing. Corporations ignore it. The thing succeeds. Then, corporations suddenly want full control of it. And then surprise, surprise, everything goes downhill. And now, instead of letting Larian do their thing and continue making peak fantasy RPGs, Wizards of the Coast is reportedly on the hunt for someone else to develop Baldur's Gate 4. And by hunt, I mean, they probably just looked around their own office and said, let's just do it ourselves. Baka na koto janai ka, sore. So here it comes Skeleton Key, a brand new subsidiary studio that, in the grand tradition of new corporate game studios, likely has no fucking idea what it is doing yet, but will be handed the keys to a beloved franchise anyway. Now, they haven't officially confirmed that Skeleton Key will be developing Baldur's Gate 4, but come on, do we really think Wizards of the Coast is going to entrust this to an outside studio again? Ha! No. I mean, look at the Archetype Entertainment, another subsidiary of theirs. They're working on a sci-fi RPG called Exodus, which sounds suspiciously like a fancy way of saying we really wanted to make a Mass Effect game, but we legally can't call it that. So yeah, unless Hasbro and Wizards suddenly have a secret team of legendary RPG devs hiding in their room closet, Skeleton Key is most likely handling Baldur's Gate 4, and that is concerning. But before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank you all my patrons that support my work here on YouTube. and especially my three-tailed fox tie members, Heath Rowell and Fenny Sylvy, for the incredible support to my work. You guys are amazing. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon, link is in the description below. Why, you might be asking yourself right now, my dear viewer, because if there is one thing we've learned from the gaming industry, it's that slapping a famous name on something doesn't automatically make it good. Looking at you, every spiritual successor that turned out to be a dumpster fire, and let's not forget the tragic case of BioWare, once a titan of the RPG world, now responsible for Dragon Age, the Veil Guard, or should I say the Walk Guard. A game so universally disappointing that it made a longtime fans question their life choices. So let's talk about our star of the show, Corinne Bush, a self-described DAI warrior and visionary. And by visionary, I mean the kind that sees icebergs and steers the Titanic directly into them. She graced us with her genius at BioWare, where she had the absolutely groundbreaking idea of making sure video game characters could have top surgery scars, because you know, when you think of compelling storytelling and deep character development, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is, hey, can I give my character Pussy Peach as scars? Priorities, am I right? And in case you think this was a one-time passion project, nope, she brought the same, let's call it, creative energy between quotes to the Sims 4 while working at Mixes, because when you're building your dream house and agonizing over wallpaper choices, what you're really thinking is, but where's the top surgery representation? Groundbreaking stuff, truly! Anyway, back to the disaster at hand, the Veil Guards, I just forgot, it's the Walk Guard. The game that, surprise surprise, turned out to be such a financial catastrophe that even EA saw it coming. And let's be real, if EA, a company that will happily sell you air for just $10 per DLC, knows your game is doomed, you've really outdone yourself. Fans of the Dragon Age franchise took one look at what our servers and collectibles said. Yeah, we're not eating that. The series figures, let's just say they reflected that sentiment perfectly. But instead of acknowledging, and maybe we messed up, the people in charge doubled down and rewarded the captain of the sinking ship with another captaincy, because why not? Failing upwards is apparently the new meta. And now, according to the latest leaks, Skeleton Key, yes, the company entrusted with the future of Baldur's Gate, thought to themselves, you know what would be a great idea? Hire the person who turned Dragon Age into a flaming wreck as our gaming director. Yes, director, not just a developer, not some middle manager. Director. This means Corinne Bush, the person widely credited with torpedoing Dragon Age's legacy, now gets a chance to potentially, almost certainly, sprinkle that same magic dust all over Baldur's Gate 4, and between quotes here, magic dust, I mean unchecked ideological nonsense with zero regard for what actual gamers want. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth did Wizards of the Coast and Skeleton Key think this was a good idea? Oh, my sweet summer children, let me introduce you to the way the modern gaming industry thinks. See, in their minds, Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't just a great RPG with player agency and deep storytelling, no, it was a DAI game, because everything must be labeled, classified, and put into neat little ideological boxes these days. Never mind the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 was loved precisely because it avoided all the half-handed real-world politicking, and instead just let the players immerse themselves in an actual fantasy world. That were choices, of course. Yes, diversity? Sure, but it wasn't the kind that slaps you in the face while lecturing you like a novel enthusiastic HR rep at a mandatory sensitive training. It was just a good game, built on good writing, player freedom, and, you know, fun. something the Veil Guard utterly forgot about in its quest to be a corporate-approved social manifesto. But of course, the Veil Guard was still praised to high heaven by the usual suspects. IGN, Kotaku, and every other outlet that has long since lost touch with reality. IGN, in their infinite wisdom, even slapped a 9/10 it. A fucking 9/10! You know, the same score as Ghost of Tsushima because, of course, both games are just the same. Yeah, let us sink in for a second because I know you need it. Because nothing screams masterpiece like a game nobody actually wanted to play. Meanwhile, YouTube reviewers, and actual players were out here handing out their own scores, and let's just say, they painted a very different picture. And lest you forget, Wizards of the Coast has been hard at work gutting and repacking Dungeons & Dragons to align with their, preferred modern values between codes here. That means rewriting the origins of the orcs because they were, problematic, stripping out stereotypical tropes and ensuring that the once beloved fantasy setting now reads more like a sanitized HR-approved corporate statement than an actual immersive world. Oh, and if you dare to criticize these changes, congrats, you're officially racist! Because nothing shuts down meaningful discourse faster than a well-placed weaponized label. So, given all this, are we really shocked that they looked at Corinne Bush, the grand architect of woke gaming, and thought, yes, this is the person who should take the reins of Baldur's Gate 4? Of course not! It was practically destined to happen. In their eyes, the Woke Guard was every bit as fantastic as Baldur's Gate 3, and naturally, the perfect person to continue the legacy would be the same person who previously drove an RPG franchise straight off a cliff. Makes perfect sense, of course. Oh, and it gets better because they didn't just stop at hiring Bush, no. They went full speed ahead and brought in an entire squad of former BioWare developers, many of whom worked on the Woke Guard because clearly nothing says future success like replicating a proven failure. Forget the poor sales. Forget the fact that 90% of actual players rejected the Woke Guard like a bad blind date. Wizards of the Coast clearly believes this team deserves to fail upwards, because why stop at running one franchise when you can go 2 for 2? So brace yourselves, metafoxes and viewers, because if this trajectory continues, Baldur's Gate 4 might just end up being the Woke Guard saga in disguise, and somewhere in the boardroom of Wizards of the Coast, a group of executives is patting themselves on the back, completely oblivious to the inevitable train wreck they are about to unleash. Like, comment, and bells.